Hello everyone, welcome back to Shrey FC, all content football covered for you, Premier League and everything. So today I'm very happy to be joined by Uday mate from the Loudmouth Show. Again, I've again and again will always tell you the link, description is everything given below. He has his Insta link and you will find some great content up there. So click on there, go there and follow him. I'm telling you, you will never regret following him. One of the best football accounts I know, a great Liverpool fan, and also covers everything regarding Premier League. So how are you doing, brother?
I'm doing well, Ashley. Thanks for such a nice ovation, and it was a very warm welcome. And I hope I have a good football, direct with you.
Thank you so much, mate. And starting with the straight away getting to the work and starting with the first topic today that we're going to cover. And I think we always shocked today at what happened at suddenly, like I was just having my lunch from work and I just came and it was just not
Yeah.
digestible when I saw what happened with Chelsea. And Chelsea means controversy, CC, and that's the way I think we are going on. So coming on, is Chelsea in trouble? So what's your thought, Uday, mate, on this? Are Chelsea in big trouble now?
Look, the first half of the season, mostly, I think your wingbacks were the lead scorers in the league, and you're also on top of the table. But we've seen that position, Chelsea have been clinching onto it since many seasons, and after Boxing Day, they have sort of collapsed, in a way or two. But by collapse, I don't mean literally going down to the fifth or sixth place. By collapse, I mean they've hovered over the third or fourth position. So it's kind of might be in a rut in the moment, but I don't think they should have a problem in terms of team selection, because I think we've seen in the past couple of matches that the likes of Havertz is should be selected over Lukaku at the moment. I'm not trying to write off Lukaku, but I think given the current form, Havertz is much more comfortable, much more fluid in that number nine role than Lukaku is.
I think
So I
you have
think,
been absolutely spot on in that regard. So,
yeah.
brother, coming
But
on the takeover regard, what's your opinion on that?
I think again stick to the same opinion where I feel Roman Abramovich was anyways the most passionate owner that we have seen, which is why we used to see the dismissal of so many managers back to back, given the short term success that he wanted. The current takeover, I think I have no comments on that, to be honest, because I think it will be another moneyball game for the owners. They've invested in this, looking at the business prospect to it, and it won't be. I don't think, in my opinion, I don't think Chelsea will be lavishly spending as they used to at one point of time. You can only hope for the best, because the owners, they don't give it to you in writing. They don't give it to the fans and the stakeholders in writing that we're going to spend this much amount of money. It is a promise that they give to the company and to the spectators. So I think, yeah, I think the new owners will be joining in. I mean, it's just I've actually hit a conundrum knowing the owners who came in. Either if it's a well-known company or if it's Saudi, you'd know, right, that these are money spilling oil giants who are going to spend money like anything on the club. But yeah, I think I've sort of hit a conundrum. But I'd like to hear from you. What do you think about Chelsea's new owners?
I think so. I think everyone is will be very aware that Chelsea have just now been news has come that they've been sanctioned, and Roman Abramovich has been sanctioned by the UK government. So I
Yeah.
think that has put big trouble on finding an owner as well, because now everything of Chelsea is seized. They cannot no fan who other than season ticket holder cannot come and watch the match of the team. The allowance for the away travels will only be 20K, and this is big trouble if I'm being honest in
I,
terms of
I
if.
I didn't know this news. Wait, let me read the
Oh,
news.
so I think if I can just brief it to you in that regard, Chelsea have been Roman Abramovich is sanctioned by the UK government in his involvement with Putin, and they have
Uh-huh.
froze his assets. So Chelsea has been frozen, and at the moment it cannot be sold. And if it's sold, then nothing of the money will go to Roman Abramovich. So
No.
now that puts a bit of trouble for Chelsea. I think I'm not understanding also because why did it happen suddenly so right now? But it's been
No,
announced, and
it had to happen because in the House of Commons, if you've seen the then MP, I mean Chris Bryant, the MP who had actually raised this issue against Roman Abramovich involving in the oil money which was being disputed even in Russia for that matter. I think he should have actually taken that claim and he should have gone to court with it. Rather, he skipped a couple of proceedings and that case was still impending with the House of Commons as well. So I think Roman Abramovich actually got tangled a long time back with the British government. He's just one of those hundred or 50 people who have actually been sanctioned. So I wasn't surprised that he's about to get sanctioned because it wasn't coming. And when he left the club, that time speculations were that, oh, he might not get sanctioned. He's Roman Abramovich and all that. What involvement will he have with Putin? But he's a billionaire, man, and we've all known since many times that since the time he's joined Chelsea. When he came to Chelsea, he was already an established businessman in Russia, and that too under Putin's regime, who was there since I think the 90s, right? So it's very obvious that he's been one of those people who have been influential in the Russian bureaucracy, and also the way he was minting money from the oil companies that he had invested in was again proof enough for his involvement with Putin. And Putin has shared open dialogue with him a couple of times on stage as well. But I think they had enough track record and tracking on him to scum him and sanction him as per the laws of the Queen's country.
I think so. For me, I absolutely agree with you in that regards. But also, I think Uday coming on towards the other things for Chelsea, I think the for me the surprising part has been a bit of selectiveness. That's been because you know that Newcastle United and Manchester City also have ownership. I think which is very very concerning. So, what's your
Hmm.
regard in that in regards to Newcastle, Manchester City, and this selective criticizing on Chelsea, but not going towards them?
Uh, your voice is stuttering, but anyways, uh, can you repeat the question? And also, I really thought Chelsea were bought. Yeah, I can see you. I also thought Chelsea were actually, the owners are arriving. I thought there was an Indian owner from Sacramento Kings who was about to buy Chelsea.
So I think, I agree with you in that regard. So overall, just coming on the question, I think finally finishing up this Chelsea topic. So with this sanctioning and everything, do you
Yeah.
think Chelsea is going to decline now for the future years?
Uh, Look, I think the sanctions, despite the sanctions and all that, I think there will be eventually will be someone will be joining over. Now I don't know the UK laws how they govern the properties which have been taken over, but I think this will go on for quite some time. And I have to be honest, I didn't know about this. I haven't read the news reports. I need to be better informed to comment on this at the moment. But I would just like to say this that I think this will be turned around and Chelsea will find new owners. And I thought when you spoke about owners at Sacramento Kings, the Indian owner of Sacramento Kings is about to buy you guys. So I thought he was about to take over the bid and the club. So my bad over there. But yeah, I think I don't really know what to say right now. So
I think it's just I think you have summed it up very very well. That at the moment nobody can say anything. We just don't know what's going to happen. There could be a new ownership. There could be trouble for Chelsea. But one thing I will show say before ending this topic is I think now is the time for Chelsea to use the academy. That's the best thing Roman Abramovich built for Chelsea. Gallagher coming back, Billy Gilmer coming back. You've got players very good in academy right now like Levy Colville, Harvey Wales, and Chelsea have still got youngsters like Mason Mount, Reece James. So the future is not absolute doom and gloom. But yes, the spending 100 million spending that lavishness will most probably end now for Chelsea. So coming on towards the second topic today, and this is a very important topic, I think most important one, and there's a top four race. And with this, we are also going to preview United Tottenham. So putting on the screens the table right now of the Premier League. So this is the top four. You can see right now table on the screens. So coming to you, brother, what do you
yeah.
think at the moment? Which is Arsenal absolutely clear now to be the top four, or there's still some twist and turn left?
I went on a podcast of 532s a couple of months back, and I gave my predictions for the top four, and I placed Arsenal on that list. The reason being that Arsenal is oozing of creativity, oozing of goals, and the defense is pretty much sorted as well. I think Arteta has held them by their guts and is making them play as per his own moves. So I think Arsenal are a very sorted club at the moment. Look, for me, it is very clear. Whichever club is sorted, they have a better chance of getting into the top four. And I'm only talking about the stellar clubs. I know there are other clubs like Tottenham, Wolves, and even Crystal Palace who have actually made a mark this season. But these clubs don't hold enough in them to actually contend for the top four, right? Coming back to the topic, top four, Man City, Liverpool. I think, to be honest, I'm a Liverpool fan. I'll obviously have a little bias in this by saying when I say that Liverpool should win the Premier League, given the mentality that they've had. They've only lost two games this season. I think one was the 3-2 defeat to West Ham,
West Ham.
and the other one was, I think, the Burnley game, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah. No, no. I think you did not lose to Burnley. I think that loss, I think, came against, if I'm very clear, I think you did not lose to Chelsea, City, West Ham, Tottenham, Wolves, Southampton. I think if I can
I
remember
don't
well,
remember. I
I
think
think that's the
Leicester,
thing.
Leicester maybe. Yeah,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
lost to
Leicester,
Leicester. We
Leicester.
lost to
That,
Leicester, right?
yeah.
Yeah, so it was a very uncertain thing that happened, and we lost it in from the 79th minute, if I'm not wrong. Um, they
No, I
scored
think I
three
remember
goals
it was.
against
I
us.
think it was. I think 60th minute. Dewsbury Hall. Some. I think that was the name of the player who scored.
Yeah. Okay, I'm actually remembering a match from last season maybe where Leicester scored three goals against us after the 79th minute. We were leading 1-0. So, anyways, nonetheless, I think top four is pretty sorted. Yeah, I don't think, to be honest, like I am giving you this hands down, writing in paper. If you want me to stamp this right now, I'll do it. Manchester United don't stand a chance of entering the top four, so they should quit trying. They should sit back, relax, and wait to play Europa next season because that's what they deserve, right?
I think on one hand, if I think United fans are in the chat, and we'll also preview United and Tottenham. So coming to
Yeah.
Manchester United, I think the thing for Manchester United is that I think it will work for them. I think the best thing it could happen to Manchester United is finishing ninth in the Premier League, and
Hmm.
next year not having any fixture to contend with, Ten Hag having time to develop his team. I think that's the best thing that other Glazers need to get a bit of shock that how badly the club is run. But I think I have a bad feeling. Uday brother, if you see Arsenal fixtures, Arsenal still have to go away at Stamford Bridge. They have
Hmm.
to play Liverpool next week at home. They have to play Leicester this week. They still have to travel away to West Ham. They still have to play United. They still have to play Tottenham. So Arsenal still haven't proven themselves in the bigger games. So are you very clear on Arsenal getting top four, or still you have doubts
Look,
about them and at a top?
now you got my statement wrong. I'll tell you. I was only spoke about Manchester United not being into the top four. I am sure Arsenal should get into the top four given the current standing, but I'm sorry I missed out on this point. I am expecting either Arsenal or Tottenham to get in the top four. I know how rigid Antonio Conte has been with the men, in white. It's very important for Tottenham Hotspurs to make a comeback this season. Otherwise, I think even Conte will be departing, knowing how his relationship has developed with Daniel Levy. He's been giving out immature comments out in the press. That's to intimidate Daniel Levy in a way. I know that, but that tactic kind of works in Levy's favor itself because what he'll do is he'll remove him from his contract. He'll pay him a bit and get a new manager, which is not really the solution that Tottenham should be seeking at the moment. But you should remember also how Conte was, how he left your club as well. I think he was sacked or
Yeah.
whatever it was, a mutual agreement. They came to a mutual agreement. That was all because of Conte's attitude. He doesn't sit well with the owners because of his Italian attitude and his, very his commanding stature as a manager is actually overwhelming for I think other owners and other people of his stature to sit with him. And I've heard it not only from BT Sport but also from many podcasting channels on Spotify. Um, Nonetheless, I think coming back to the topic, West Ham don't stand a chance of coming to the top four because of a very narrow squad line again. They might have the likes of Lanzini and Ben Rama who are sitting on the bench and always ready to come on. But that doesn't. These two don't fulfill or show that they have much endurance in them in terms of competing for uh, playing 3 weeks in 2 weeks and 3 games in 2 weeks and giving in that energy that other teams like Liverpool and City do. Um, on the other hand, I think United are still yet to find their socks under Ralph Ragnick, right? Um, the thing with United is I feel uh, we've seen them pressing in certain phases of the game, but then they kind of fall short of doing that again. And then what they do is they ensure that they start defending well, which in certain phases they did, but then we have seen lapses happening from Maguire, from even Van Bissaka. I mean, the game against City was proof enough for that they still lack a lot of vigor and organization behind. Even the game against Watford, to be honest, I think imagine this: they had 22 shots to take, right? They couldn't even convert a single one. Screw that as well. I think if you come back to that day, Watford had an opportunity or two to score towards the end of the match. Imagine what if they could have. What if they would have scored a late minute winner? I think that would have been very humiliating for Ralph Ragnick and the entire squadron, right? So that's it. I think when it comes to the top four, I think Arsenal or Tottenham. Man, I don't. United is not going to the top four. And this is not me being salty. This is not me being a biased Liverpool fan. This is just me being a neutral supporter. And in the spirit of the game, I know this for a fact. United are not making it to the top four.
I think for me, you have summed it up very, very well that United at the moment are very unclear. So, what you'll expect from them, what you'll get for them. So, straight away now, coming to United Tottenham match now, straight away, the biggest match of this week. Most probably, you can say that either side that loses, their top four hopes are most probably done and dusted. Whether
Hmm.
it's Tottenham, whether it's United, and a draw for both sides doesn't work in their favor. So, now if you look at the table here for both the sides, United right now in the table have 47 points of 28 games, while Spurs have 45 of 26 games. Spurs have two games in hand, which are against Brighton and Arsenal, while United have no games in hand left now. So, coming to you, Uday, brother, what's your preview of this match? And what do you think is going to happen? Is Antonio going to Conte going to pull an absolute stunner here and win away at Old Trafford, or Ralph Ragnick finally getting something out of this United squad, and Cristiano Ronaldo earning his 500k wages and doing something that is paid to do?
Cristiano Ronaldo, sorry for the way I pronounce his name, he is 37 years old and he's already scored 15 goals for the club. What else do these buggers expect from him, man? That's my first point. Secondly, I feel buying Cristiano Ronaldo, to be honest, to prove that okay, we already know he's a club legend. I mean, what more will you leverage out of a 37-year-old veteran of the sport, man, who's about to probably depart to MLS? Maybe if he finds out, or maybe he hits a rut in terms of the goal scoring that he's had in this season. Obviously, he's playing in the Premier League. It'll be difficult for him to press. It'll be difficult for him to cover the ground more than he did, for Juventus and even for Real Madrid. Obviously, he was at his peak. Um, but come on, man. Let's just give that lad a rest. He deserves statues all over the world. And blaming him for United's losses is not the key. If they want to make him, if Ralph has him in his plans, well and good. If he doesn't, then that's Ralph's decision and is to respect it. But coming on to the forward line, right? I think Jadon Sancho has found his laces with United. He's been scoring goals here and there, and he's been helping in providing the uh, key passes into the final third, which is important to build on that key tilt factor. Um, and if you talk about the other forwards, I was, to be honest, before Greenwood actually, he's been sidelined because of the ongoing issue, which I don't want to talk about. But this season, Greenwood was dribbling really well. We could see his level of skill as well as a young footballer, and he was upcoming. He already scored 6 goals in the Premier League, I think. So Greenwood is another footballer I think that they'll be upset about. And but his replacement, I think they were looking at getting Rashford into the game, but I don't know why is Rashford not being given the minutes that he deserves. Um, he's a direct footballer. I like how he plays, and his pace is enough to decimate any defensive line and go behind them and probably try to stir things up in the final third. But when you're not being given an opportunity, obviously you'll be hearing rumors about the transfers and all happening. And despite Rio Ferdinand giving him the flag for being a club academy prospect and making such claims, looking into the game against Tottenham, man, I can only remember the 6-1 scoreline is what I can remember. Apart from that, nothing else hits my brain when I think about United and Tottenham. But coming back to the point before I ask you what you feel about the game, I would just like to make one more point. Look at Conte. Look at the form that he's carrying the team with right now, and look at uh, Manchester United. As you can see, as you have proudly opened the window up, 38 goals have been scored by United. Is that right? 38? No, they've
No, no,
conceded
they've
38 goals and they've formed 45 goals. On the other hand, Tottenham have formed 40 goals and conceded 32. I know more or less this is the same statistic and figure, but still we can see that Tottenham over the past few weeks have improved massively in terms of goal scoring as well. Harry Kane is back with his boots. I think he scored a deuce in 2 matches, once against City and one in the last match as well. Even though they struggled against Burnley, which was shocking. I mean, who would have expected them to win against City and struggling against Burnley? That doesn't really sit with me. But anyways, coming back to the point, I think United Tottenham is going to be a stellar of a competition, expecting the likes of Heung-min Son and Kane to do dummies, get into a deeper position to release the other person out like they usually do. So yeah, but I'm pretty upset with the fact that Ndombele, Sissoko, who were playing under Mourinho and even under Nuno, they had to depart, man. They went to, I think, League One and other clubs. Those people were pretty sturdy and they were very creative also. I think they weren't like out and out fluid players, but even now you don't have a fluid player in Tottenham, do you? So, what are your thoughts on the game? I think I've already spoken about both the teams a bit.
I think it's summed it very, very well for me. And I think for United and Tottenham, match if we look properly, I think Kulusevski has done a superb job since coming at Tottenham. I think I did not expect him to be this good, and he was just superb. Coming to Tottenham now, the Akile he's for Manchester United is the defense. Like for me, under Ragnick, I've seen some progression what he's trying to do, but the problem is the players are just not good enough. The attitude at that place absolutely stinks. Their confidence is like they are Bayern Munich, and their performances are like they're Burnley. But Burnley even have heart, passion, desire that their players don't have. For me, in the last match, Ragnick did do a good tactical switch. He went with the front six, pressing City absolutely relentlessly to get chances. And in the first half, I did say, man, they are looking good. They're trying something. Second half, the same players came in and slow, turgid, no desire, no passion. And for me, if I'm a United fan, I will be banging my head to the wall watching this second goal. That second goal was one of, if not the most disgusting goal I've seen in my life. Like they had ample time. Lindelof and Fred had ample time to get back. They were standing, having their hand on the head, and just what's happened? You had 10 seconds to reach there. You could have stopped that goal, and it just wasn't. If I'm being very honest, City did not even play well. City did not even play well in that game. They were in the second gear the whole game. If they were in the first gear, that could have been 7-1, 8-1, 9-1, and could have been for the history books. That was a very poor City performance, which United just showed how big difference is between the rivals. So the player desire is not there. I still don't know, will Cristiano play, will he not play? They don't even have options right now. Lingard has no desire to stay at the club. Marcus Rashford is absolutely horrific right now. Ilanga is a young kid, so I don't want to put any pressure on him. And Juan Mata is old and not the same Mata that we knew. Bruno and Pogba, they lose the ball a lot and they have their on and off day. So at the moment, this side is very unclear. But I think on the tactical side, Conte has a bit to worry about as well because his side has been yo-yo team, beating the bigger sides and then donating the points towards the shorter sides. That's been what Tottenham has been doing this whole season because if you give Harry Kane and Son the space, if United foolishly play attacking football, this is going to be a murder. If United play high pressing football, this could be United 1, Tottenham 4, United 1, Tottenham 3. Because Kane and Son are going to absolutely rip Maguire and Lindelof apart. But if United play a turgid football, like a bit Ole Gunnar Solskjaer counter-attacking football, I think they will most probably beat Tottenham. So,
Yeah.
Uday, in tactical review, what do you think United can do to stop Tottenham?
Dude, you totally battered them. This is what I would do on a good day. Well, to be honest, I think I agree with each and every point that you've laid out there. I think that just so United as a club, when you talk about pressing, also, I think the first 30 minutes, if they go in with a full pressing mood, right, the first 30 minutes they will press, and then they'll get a little tired. You'll see them little discoordinated. You'll see them little disorganized. You'll see the midline is letting go. Um, you know, giving in a lot of spaces in the back, and even Maguire for that matter. I don't know where does the leadership go, where does the communication go when it comes to United playing under pressure. There is no communication on the pitch. Like you see Henderson and Milner shouting all the time. I think United need a leader like that. Valencia used to do the job for them when he was there till in the club till 17, 18, 19. But after that, I think even when Alex Young departed to Inter Milan, I think they struggled a lot in that department. Um, Nonetheless, I think, dude, I am not writing United off, to be honest. I think United can ride the high tide, the hard tide, and still they can get back into the game. We know they are known as the comeback kings, right? Since the past couple of seasons, they've been scoring goals in the second half, and I think this season too, we shouldn't write them off. I think when you the players that I like the most in United are Bruno Fernandes again because he can play deep, he can provide in good long balls from behind, he can link up play as well near the final third. I think Bruno is not the problem. I think the problem are other players. Pogba needs to be consistent. Let's hope that he plays well in this game from the left mid position or wherever they like to place him. I think left mid is where he'll be mostly starting. Ilanga, on the other hand, was also linking up well with Pogba. To be honest, in the first 30 minutes, I think United were trying to get onto City in that game, right? From the right flank. So I think Ilanga is still young, and we can't rely on him. That's true, but at least they should be playing someone who's already proven a point, in the last past couple of games. I don't know if Rashford performs well in training. I'm not the manager, but I would anyways choose Rashford. Maybe even on the right. I know he's right-footed and all that, but I don't mind him. playing from the right hand side as well. Um, Rashford, maybe Sancho, Pogba behind Sancho, Bruno. Maybe a 4-4-2 would help, where one of those players can become a hybrid striker. Maybe Ronaldo and Bruno Fernandes again. Bruno can shadow him. Whatever it will be, whatever formation they come up with, I think it'll be interesting to see United how they play and match up with Tottenham. Again, I'm not writing them off because the form that United have shown over the seasons is not based on one performance. It is about how erratic they can be. How good can they be or how bad can they be? It's just been that. It's never been an average performance. It's been a good or a bad performance. So I think that's why we've always ridiculed them and we have made fun of the spectators as well. But I think coming back to the point, I think it'll be a stellar of a competition. But I'm expecting Tottenham to win this. As simple as that, because of the consistency that they've shown in the past couple of games. So I think, yeah, that's where I would end the conversation about United and Tottenham. But any parting comments from you?
I think for me, I think the parting comment for this match will be, I think it's going to be very interesting. And for me, we'll get to the predictions in the later in the video. But I think this could be one of the most boring games we can have this weekend. I just cannot see how this is going to go, because United at the moment, they cannot risk a loss, because another loss is most probably their season has ended, and it all depends on Atletico or bust. They beat Atletico, they stay their season. If they don't beat Atletico, that season over by 30th game week, and they have nothing to play for. So I think this is a pressure match for United, especially what happened when you lose to your rivals 4-1. It's always hurting. While for Tottenham Hotspur, they are very inconsistent under Conte. Conte can be smiling one day like great, and the other day he could be crying. No, that's with Antonio Conte and the way he does. He can lose to United 3-0 and he can come in the press conference and say, this is not the Tottenham I know. We are not ready to win the title. We are
Yeah.
just not ready right now. We don't have the resources to compete with United. They can win 3-0 and he can come and say that this is the best group of players I've worked with. These are the best group of bunch of players I know. Harry Kane is the best striker in the world. So that's with Conte. He yo-yos between his press conferences. So I think it's a very hard match to predict between the both sides. And a big shout out to Almighty Blues FC. Please go there, subscribe to his channel, Almighty Blues FC. Thank you, brother. And coming to the next topic, Uday brother, and the next topic is about your topic, the favorite topic for you, and that's this heating title race. And if you see the Premier League table, we Liverpool this week will play Brighton away, while City play Palace away. And just look at this table, brother. What's your view? Are Liverpool going to win the league, or is it going to be a disappointing end to a great campaign so far?
I'm not going to comment on that. I think that's a very open-ended question. Right now, looking at Liverpool are still left with 11 matches to go. 33 points means a lot to the club. Obviously, you'd like to get on to that 99 point mark. But I think we are going to be facing Man City as well. I think the decider will be that game itself. It'll be the true epitome of sportsmanship will come and ooze from that game when we see City and Liverpool face one another. The reason why I mentioned United again, slip of tongue in terms of knowing how competitive United and Liverpool games used to be at one point of time, 10 years back. But coming back to the point, I think City, look, yeah, City have won the season 4 out of 5 times. So mostly they should be the favorites to go ahead and win it. But I hope Liverpool have enough in them to give them a tough competition. In terms of just remaining consistent, please don't lose a single game. If you want to draw one game, I think yeah, we can let them do that maybe, because out of 11 games, drawing one game is not bad. And even if you come second to that, I think people will add respect to your name. Liverpool have been the only club who have been coming second to City in the past maybe 3 seasons. In the last 3 out of 5 seasons, I think United was second at one point of time too, right? So, and that came down to the last game when Leicester who got beaten by United. Nonetheless, I think coming back to the point, Liverpool versus Brighton is also going to be an interesting encounter because I know and you know how interesting the game can get when it comes to the likes of Lallana, Welbeck, Mope, um, Trossard, all these good talents that Brighton has, and they play by Graham Potter's regime, and Graham Potter's regime reeks of attacking football, pressing football, and but there's a major loss. I think losing 6-7 footed Dan Burns to Newcastle was one of the stupidest decisions the management could have made because the replacement I'm not happy with the replacements. I think they've got Shane Duffy who's been starting in for him in that position and he's a little slower than Dunk. Plus there's no aerial control over the game anymore from the back line, so that's somewhere they're struggling a lot. Lewis Dunk, on the other hand, is the commanding leader that they have. But even him, as of late, I think he's been conceding many cards and he's been a little erratic in his displays. Nonetheless, his impact overall per 90 is very high as compared to the other players. But yeah, when you see the likes of Weltman, again, that Chelsea prospect who came to Brighton, I forgot his name. Um, who was the guy?
Lamptey.
Oh, Tariq Lamptey. What a baller. This guy has got control on the ball as well as a lot of pace. So I think I'll be expecting him to decimate a few lines for Liverpool and maybe scoring a goal. I don't remember my prediction exactly. I think I went to win with the 2-1, 3-1 win
Yeah,
for Liverpool.
2-1. 2-1
Yeah.
win for Liverpool.
The reason being because I know that this is not going to be an easy match for Liverpool, but still I think they're going to outclass them. We've got so many good players now. Luis Diaz is anyways the Porto lad is going
Super
to
player.
help us in staying mobile. Like he's doing the job that Mane used to do for us from the left flank. I don't know if you've noticed Mane has come of age as well. 30 is a good age to be at. 29, 30. It's the peak age, but right now we have seen that Mane was giving in better performances than this in the past 2 3 seasons, right? So I think every footballer has their own age of performing well. So I think Mane's time is about to go in the next 2 3 years, but still till the time he's here, we leverage everything that we have out of him. Um, regardless of whatever is going to happen in the game, I think I can comment on one thing. Trent and Robertson are always going to apply pressure by giving those diagonal crosses, by sizing the flank here and there. I think the one thing which I liked about Robertson as of late is he started playing conservatively when it came to Trent pushing ahead, because we know that they need 3 men at the back. When they're on a high line, they get exposed because they concede more goals. And Liverpool have always played this risk factor into the game, knowing how Klopp doesn't really care about defending when it comes to attacking. And when he knows we have the ball in our feet, we are very magical with it. So I think it'll take a lot of vigor and strength for us to face Brighton, but I think Liverpool are going to win this game. They have to win this game. They don't have an option.
So I think that was about the title race here. Now we're just going to recap a bit on relegation zone. But before that, I think we're just going to talk about a bit on PSG. So PSG bottled it again. Pochettino bottled it again. But for me, it's more than Pochettino. What I saw yesterday was just absolutely disgusting. I was sitting nicely, 60th minute, 1-0 Real, comfortable, and I thought they're going through PSG. And I was seeing chats yesterday by some Liverpool fans that give us PSG, don't give us Chelsea, don't give us Bayern, give us PSG. And I think PSG were the team I was thinking, if Chelsea go through, I don't want them because they can rise on their day. And then boom. And now I'm crying that why did PSG get knocked out? Why did PSG get knocked out? Now I'm crying because this is like these are bunch of absolutely crying babies. Like they were 1-1, they lost their heads crying, and I think they bottled it. I've never seen anything like that. That Real side, with no disrespect intended, was absolutely beatable. That Real side
Yeah.
was not the Real side I know of old. So, brother, what's your thought on PSG, and how will some PSG bottling that again?
Well, I think PSG are the bottle merchants of the Champions League, and we've known that since a long time. I think 5 years back at the same time, they were actually 3-2 up in aggregate in terms of, I think Barcelona just needed a goal to draw with them, but they needed 2 goals to get an advantage over them because PSG had their way over advantage, and they scored 3 goals in the last, I think, 8 or 9 minutes or 10 minutes, and that's proof enough to how unlucky they can be at times. But this all comes back down to the defensive lapse. I think we can blame Marquinhos, we can blame Kimpembe for not able to hold that cohesiveness that they should have. Playing 5 men in the 4 men in front of you when De Maria came on in the 80th minute, it was too late for them to recapitulate and try to expend their energy into defending. But I still felt Real Madrid gets the credit for this because it was the vigor and desire that they got after scoring the first goal, right? That they wanted to get back into the game. Because sometimes what happens is they didn't play well for the entirety of the 60 minutes that what took place on that ground in Santiago Bernabeu. It was PSG who rocked them for the first 60 minutes. But football is such a beautiful game. You get to see different strides and different transitions happening at this pace that you probably wonder why I wasn't real pushing in ahead or playing high up the pitch in the initial phases of the game. That was because PSG were more comfortable on the ball. PSG were able to take advantage of the situations. I think Marco Verratti was brilliant in the first half. I think he was their main playmaker. What Marco Verratti did, Modric started doing the same for the other team. So I think they totally um, they showed what PSG can do. They can implode in pressure situations. I think the tipping point for them was Donnarumma's silly Billy. That was not a good, that's not expected from a world class goalkeeper who's won the Euros, who's won a medal in the Euros. This is horrendous. It's shameful, and I'm sorry, but as Oliver Kahn has said, in these major competitions, if the goalkeeper is making such silly billies, he's bound to hit a downfall in his career. This is what happened to Karius as well. I hope this doesn't happen to Donnarumma. But you've seen how bad Karius hit a slump even after that single match that he played bad in because of the concussion or whatever it was. He started performing the same way in every single match for other clubs as well. He's conceded 50, 55 goals in other Bundesliga and German League Division 2. But coming back to the point, I think I feel bad for Mbappe because he scored two offside goals. He scored a single goal as well. So I think he played really well in the match. I think that's enough for them to create chances in the first half. They should have scored more goals. Leo Messi was also on top of his game. I'll tell you what impressed me the most and why I thought PSG will win after seeing the first half. Verratti and Messi were initiating one touch passes, which was helping them maintain the rhythm. It was making Real Madrid look like chickens, headless chickens running here and there. Um, they actually should have scored something, out of that game. They should have scored two goals at least in the first half to make sure that they had enough confidence of even if they conceded one because of silly belly, they could have gained on that momentum and hit back at them. But second half, they weren't even servicing the front line. They were more concerned about defending. That led to that all that distraction led to their downfall. So PSG imploded. This was self-inflicted. Pochettino is to be blamed for this in a way, and I hope that he learns his lesson because I think he's getting the sack or he's already been sacked. I don't know. The Canadian time is as such. I don't really get to see what the news is in the UK. But yeah, what are your thoughts on Real winning against PSG?
I think you summed it very, very well. I think for me, when I was watching the match, I think it was a comfortable 60 minutes for PSG. I think they were very, very comfortable. And I think for the both legs, they were comfortable. For the first leg, for me, if I'm not being any disrespectful to Real, but that was Burnley versus PSG for the first leg. With the approach that Carlo Ancelotti put in, I think both the managers were under pressure in this match because Ancelotti was getting a lot of criticism for the approach he showed in the first match for the Real Madrid, one of the biggest club in the world. That was an absolute shambles. The respect he showed to PSG and PSG, if they had a bit of bottle about them, they should have wrapped Real Madrid up in the first leg, 2-3 victory, tie done, tie dusted, and they will not have come to here. Even then, they were under control and 1-1. It happens. Just forget it. I remember Chelsea last year when we played Real. We also conceded a goal to Benzema. We didn't concede again. We brought them back to Stamford Bridge. We didn't get nervous, and then we smashed him. I didn't understand about PSG that is 1-1. Calm down,
Yeah.
retain the ball, take the bit of, you can say, Real's energy out of the game for next 5 minutes, get the crowd a bit down, and then you'll just nicely stroll to a victory. I think that just shows you how mentally down that team is. And I'm so sorry, but this team, either they should be disqualified for the Champions League for the money they're spending, or is better they put their youth academy in there because this is embarrassing. Money spent on Mbappe, 222 million on Neymar, massive 1 million wages to Messi, Zlatan. They also brought many years ago. Players like Verratti, Marquinhos, Donnarumma, Hakimi, and Hakimi, well done to the boy. He chose PSG over Chelsea, and he's facing the prize going up there. So that was a preview. A review of the PSG match against Real Madrid. Coming towards a relegation talk a bit on the Premier League, and then we'll move to the final part of the video. That's prediction.
Yeah.
So coming to the relegation
But,
part,
I,
it
but
just
before you start off with the relegation, I'd just like to give credit to Camavinga and even
yeah,
to Rodrigo because Marco Asensio literally played like shit. Like I don't want to
absolutely. It was
make an
pathetic.
upload comment. Yeah, he was pathetic. So I think the right decision made by Carlo Ancelotti that he brought in these
I
two
think
people.
I also remember when 2-3 years back Chelsea were linked with Asensio for 135 million.
Huh, absurd. Thank God you guys didn't get him in. He would have been probably another Fernando Torres for you guys.
Worse, Fernando has at least scored in finals.
Yeah, against Barcelona. Yeah.
So I think now coming to the relegation race, and I think it's absolutely heating up right now. The For me, sad to see, but Frank in massive, massive trouble. And for me, it was a wrong job from both sides. So looking at the table, Uday brother here, if you see that Norwich City right now are, I think they're done and dusted for me. I'm sorry to
Yeah.
say. Watford also look in trouble, but nothing is impossible in football. Like you summed it very, very well. Anything can happen in this
Hmm.
beautiful game. Burnley, we know how experienced these guys are. then Everton, then Leeds, and even Brentford. Brentford have only beaten Norwich in the last 1 or 2 months. So Brentford are not out of this. So if you have to look at relegation zone right now, and if you have to make a prediction, which three teams you think are going out?
Look, I think Frank Lampard will pull Chelsea by their socks, even though they have lost a lot of games, five games out of the 6 games that they've played in the past 2 months. Burnley, on the other hand, man, I'm a little shocked that how can Sean Dyche's Burnley be in the relegation zone, because he's given in crucial performances at that time where they've drawn so much. See, they've drawn 12 matches out of all the teams. They've drawn the most out of all the last 5, 6 teams, right? They should be in the top, at least in the 14th or 15th position. They don't deserve this position. I'm a little upset when I'm seeing this. Well, and they've also played a few matches lesser than the other team, so I'm expecting them to maybe, um, just get out of the relegation zone. I want Burnley out of the relegation zone because this season their squad has also improved. To be honest, attacking wise, they've developed a good rhythm in the game as well, and they're attacking as well onto the teams, which is why I think they might be struggling in a bit in terms of just defending, sitting behind, and parking the bus as usual, and hitting everyone on a counter. Plus, the strikers were injured mostly. The two strikers, I think. I forgot his name, man. Anyways,
I think one was
Ashley
Vidra
Bones,
and yeah,
Ashley Bones, and the other there was another guy.
Vidra,
Vidra. I think yeah, Vidra was also a great addition to the squad, and plus the new signing, man.
Waghorst.
Waghorn. I think whatever his name.
I really don't know how to pronounce him.
Weghorn. I think he came from Bundesliga. He's tall, he's sturdy, he's a traditional striker kind of player. He even goes into deeper positions to get them out of a counter press. So I think they've done a good job, man, in signing that player as well. Because I've seen him missing a couple of shots on target. To be honest, he hit the bar twice in 2 matches. So I think yeah, he was a little unlucky there. But I think I'm pretty happy with Sean Dyche in the Premier League. I want him to stay. Everton, on the other hand, they need to pull their socks. They are sitting right next to Liverpool, who are on second, and they are one of those. They reek of champions and all that stuff. I mean, they made footballers were champions. So Everton should keep that reputation about Liverpool as a city, and they should actually get out of the relegation as well. As a rival, I would obviously be happy if they get relegated. But to keep the spirit of football alive, I think Richarlison and a couple of other players, good players, are there in Everton. Dominic Calvert-Lewin was selected in the Euro squad as well. So I think Brentford might implode because this is the first season. Might implode because when they started the season, they were more aggressive than they are right now. I agree, they're still aggressive, but when they started the season, they were taking out teams like Liverpool, drawing with them, Chelsea, drawing with them. So that's about Brenton. Newcastle, very happy to see how Eddie Howe has been successful in transforming the team, even with very average signings. Kieran Tripper being one of the most valuable signings out of all of them. I think a great signing by getting in Wood from Burnley as well. I think he's been playing his role in drawing players and trying to push Ryan Fraser and the likes of Murphy ahead. Murphy and Fraser are the game changers for me because they've been hitting the defenses from the left flank with their crosses, with their pace. Amazing stuff happening from Newcastle, and the super sub. Obviously, we've seen Almiron also making an impact. He's an impact sub. Apart from that, the team looks more organized, defensively adept, and they look good to go for the next season. So Newcastle, I've written them off. Good, you've already crossed the relegation zone, so you're out of trouble. Um, Coming back to, I think,
Prediction.
for which game?
Three teams
Okay,
who are going to be relegated in your
yeah.
opinion.
So I think predictions. Dude, Norwich, anyways, we know how fucking
They're
Timo Pukki
down.
is. See, the one season he comes in, he'll score 4, 5 goals, in the next season he's back into the championship. So Norwich, I'm sorry, goodbye. Watford, man, I was a little shocked to see Watford. I think Roy Hodgson, has the ex Crystal Palace coach, has taken over from Ranieri. I think uh, they were playing pretty well, man. To be honest, in the season when they started off, right, they had a couple of good attackers who were scoring goals for them. But nonetheless, I think Watford definitely hit a slump as well. So yeah, and Norwich are destined to go down. I think the third team which will go down is very competitive. I think it'll be tough for me to deduce that. I don't want any of the teams to be going down, to be honest. But I would actually go in for Brentford. I don't like apart from Luca Toni and one or two forward. I don't really like the other teams, other players in the team. So I would want Brentford, Watford, and Norwich to get relegated. So that is about my prediction for that. What about yours? What do you think? Who's going to get relegated?
I think if Brentford get relegated, I don't remember when this happened. That three promoted teams are three teams going back again. I really don't know in history time has it happened, how much time. So I think I agree with your point. I think Watford Norwich looked down until unless Roy Hodgson pulls some miracle out of his hat. But overall, I think coming to the final part, I just think Burnley are just too good enough to not go down. And Everton have players like Richarlison, Calvert Lewin, players like Gordon, Alan, Doucouré. I think there's just too much class in themselves to not get relegated. I think sadly it's either Brentford going down or Leeds. With Leeds sacking Bielsa right now was a wrong decision, especially with an inexperienced manager. I won't be surprised if Leeds go down. I won't be surprised if Brentford go down. And that brings us towards the Premier League predictions for this game week, which is game week, just 1 minute, game week 29. So we're going to predict the Premier League game week 29. So coming towards the guest today, and that is Loudmouth Uday from Loudmouth Show. Go there, subscribe to his Instagram. Some great content up there, as I always say. And his predictions are: he's going with Liverpool win 1-2 against Brighton. He's going with a Burnley win 2-1 against Brentford. He's going with United losing to Tottenham 3-1. Chelsea just somehow defeating Newcastle. Leeds getting much needed win against Norwich. Everton, another defeat for them at home against Wolves. West Ham, somehow, I think West Ham have been struggling for a long, long time. And I won't be surprised if this happens that he has put in. I do think Aston Villa can surprise West Ham away. Then
Yeah.
Southampton going to beat Watford, Arsenal going to beat Leicester, and Crystal Palace going to be defeated by Manchester City. So, Uday, brother, any opinion on our predictions so far and why you have
Well,
given these?
I'll tell you, Crystal Palace and City, anything can happen. Okay, the reason why I've given this is because Patrick Vieira as a coach is unpredictable. You never know; they might just start pressing. You never know; they might just sit behind because it's Manchester City. But if they go toe to toe, it'll be more interesting to watch the game. So I'm expecting Crystal to get a goal or two out of the game. Um, Leicester and Arsenal is also something. I think Arsenal should win this easily. Leicester have been a little off form this season. Vardy's injured again. Not a chance. Not a chance for Leicester to come back. Um, Southampton, Watford, pretty solid. I think I don't need to talk about that. West Ham, Aston Villa. I think West Ham, man. Yeah, they've hit a slump. Maybe they've lost 2-3 matches here and there, but still, I think they have a good squad. They play the performances are very good. In the game, even if they're losing them. The way they lost to Liverpool also was pretty. They lost like champions. So I think, yeah, I think West Ham will lose this one as well because Gerrard has been pretty much sorted with Aston Villa. Again, the Aston Villa the team is amazing, very organized. Mings and Tyra Konsa have been defending well. They've been making sure they've been shouting at the players to make sure McGinn is being supported in the middle. Whatever they've been performing really well as well. So and Wolves on the other hand, I think the new manager has taken full advantage of the team, the squad. Pedro Neto is back into the squad. I know Wolves have been struggling as well in the last couple of games, but I'm sure that they'll get back to winning form with this match as well. Everton, dude, they've hit a slump. I hope they get out of it in the other games, but I don't see them getting out maybe in this game. If Everton win, it'll be miraculous. If they draw, it is acceptable, but I don't think they'll win. So again, I think the other matches are pretty sorted when it comes to the stellar of the game. But commenting on Chelsea and Newcastle, I think Newcastle might. I'm not saying. Don't be shocked when I say this.
Yeah.
Might draw this game as well because of the way they've been playing in the past couple of games. I think Chelsea should have a good game plan against them. They should plan on scoring initially itself because Newcastle are going to give you a tough fight throughout the game, and they don't get tired now. I don't know what is Eddie Howe feeding them. Chawanprash खिला रहा है कि Bonvita पिला रहा है, but Newcastle are actually performing well in the second half of the game. So it's something which Chelsea should be looking into. What are your
Uh,
thoughts though on my
I think
predictions and also your predictions? What are your
I,
predictions? Though?
Yeah, I think before coming to my predictions, I think this was a prediction league last time. You have seen I've invited two guests for the last Thursday shows. So Almighty Blues in the first game week destroyed me. He got 4 points, and Football Medical last week got 4 points. I've overall got 7 points. So I'm losing to the guest, and let's see how many points I can rack up against Uday, and if again I'm behind, or will I finally go up? So coming towards my prediction, and
But
my prediction are
individually, you're actually topping the charts. I think Almighty Blues and Football Medico
no, no,
are.
no. My score is two game weeks combined.
Acha, okay, okay.
Yeah, that's why I'm behind. I was behind Almighty Blues, but I've won against Football Medico.
Right, right, right. Okay, okay,
So I
okay.
think coming to my prediction, I think my prediction is same. I think Liverpool are going to struggle, but they'll beat Brighton and they'll keep a clean sheet. For me,
Yeah.
Burnley always like to do just defend and get that goal from Vagos and win 1-0. I think United
Yeah.
Tottenham is going to be a boring game. I won't be surprised this ends nil-nil also. I won't be surprised this absolutely stinks up the Premier League game week. And Chelsea, I
Right.
think, will get a comfortable victory against Newcastle 2-0. I think
Mm.
Leeds are going to be stunned and Leeds are struggling. I think new manager suddenly coming in,
Jesse
his
Marsh.
different ideas. I think it's going to take him time to
So
get
he
Leeds United settled in.
and before you get on with the predictions again, I'm sorry. Jesse Marsh is actually an attacking football manager, and I think
Yeah,
the American will definitely shine and take leads out of a rut. So I think
I
yeah,
think
he'll just
for
yeah,
me the only concern is that I think he could do very well next season, but suddenly
yeah.
coming straight away in a side that's down on confidence, and
Hmm.
just like I saw with Frank Lampard attacking football, if you're caught out on the break, that could be a massive trouble for them. And I think this is the pressure game for Leeds United, and I think that will play on the players' head. They have to win this game somehow, some way. And I think Everton are going to find a draw against Wolves because Wolves are ridiculously like yo-yo team. They've lost their last three games in a row against Palace, Arsenal, West Ham, and Wolves have been very well this season, but one thing they always struggle is scoring goals. They just cannot score goals. This is the struggle that I've just not understood with Wolves. If you see the Premier League table here for a second, Wolves in the table have only scored 24 goals in 27 matches. That is not acceptable for a club at that level. Even you can say
But they've
Newcastle has scored
conceded less
more.
also. Like they've
Yeah,
yeah. I agree. I
Newcastle.
agree with you actually. They
Yeah,
should
they
be
don't
scoring
score
more
much,
goals.
but they
You're
don't
right.
concede much.
You're right. You're right. You're right.
I think with West Ham Villa, on one hand, I do think this is going to be a hard fought game and West Ham will win it. But I have a bit of doubt because West Ham are playing Sevilla today, so West Ham might be tired for the game against Aston Villa.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right.
And Southampton, for me, I think Southampton are very good home team this season. They've only lost one game. That was
Yeah.
against Wolves. But
Yeah.
I think Southampton nothing to play for. They're not in a Europa League race. They
Mhm.
aren't in a top four race, top six race. They aren't in a relegation race. And I think they won't be up for this game. And I think it's going to be 1-1 draw for Roy Hodgson away at Southampton. I think Arsenal are going to drop points against Leicester. I think Leicester are slowly finding the rhythm back. I think Jamie Vardy coming back to haunt Arsenal was written in the stars. Jamie Vardy getting fit, getting a bit of warm up against Burnley.
Hmm.
Now he's going to unleash himself against a club he loves, Arsenal.
But he's
And I think
injured,
he's going
bro.
to.
I think Body's injured.
No, no, no. He played the last game, I think.
Huh? He's back?
He
Wait,
scored
let me
against
check.
Burnley.
I think he's back injured. He's injured again.
Oh, I
Wait, let me
think
check. Wait, let me check. You go on with the predictions though. Go on with the
yeah,
predictions.
and I think Palace, I think, has agreed with Uday. I think it's going to be a tight match. I won't be surprised if this ends Crystal Palace 2 City 2, but I do think it's going to be a City tight victory because
Yeah.
City, when they're in the lead, they don't give away. They're just going to find that goal somewhere. So these are my predictions for this week. And overall, recapping everything, Uday brother, what's your thought overall? And overall, what content is going to come on our channel so people can look out for?
My channel is looking like a spider's web with many cobwebs here and there. It's been a long time I've actually put on good, decent content. But I plan on getting on, the content making thing again. Uh, for me, at the moment, I think Liverpool and City are going to win the league games, and that's what matters. The top two race is going to be very much on. Um, but I think Chelsea will be again trailing them, but Chelsea is also very fixated on third position. And you guys actually need to cover your position, right? You need to ensure you guys are on the third position. And I think Chelsea will do that. Chelsea will be able to do that easily. Um, fourth position is in contention. I think, wow, man. Tottenham or Arsenal. And they are North London rivals, and they need to, they'll be keeping the epitome of rivalry alive in this contention. So I think it'll be exciting to watch what happens in the next couple of game weeks. But my prediction of Arsenal being in the top four stays there. And I'm trying to find a stamp paper where I actually wrote United off, but I am unable to find it right now. But next episode, when I return back, I'm going to bring that stamp paper also with me. But yeah, man, I think it was good conversing with you on football, and looking forward to talking to you again
I think it was an absolute pleasure to have you, mate. And I think this is not just one time. He's going to be more on this channel. And when he opens his channel, I'll also be there. So I think it's going to be
for
great
sure.
talk. Do click on his Insta link and you will see us on Discord. There's a Discord link in his Instagram bio. You can
Yeah,
go there. You can join us football fans where we chat about football and you can become part of a big football family that will only get bigger and bigger as the years come. So thank you
yeah.
so much, brother, to be here. It was a
and
great pleasure
and
to have you.
subscribe to Shrey FC's channel. I think he comes up with great content. I've actually seen many of his videos, and he deserves more traffic on his videos. So please do come ahead and subscribe to the channel, and also join my Discord because we like to banter a lot on our Discord. Then you will see many United and Liverpool fans flanking one another. So do come to Discord and we will have fun together as a family.
So thank you everyone, and I hope you all have a very, very good day. So thank you everyone for joining, and it was just wonderful to be with you.